1914 was a big year, marking the beginning of a conflict that would reshape the world. It was the year World War I began, a war bigger and more devastating than anyone had ever seen before. From July 28, 1914 to November 11, 1918, the world watched in horror as nations clashed. The war started in Europe but quickly spread worldwide, drawing in countries from every continent. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, was the spark that ignited the war. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, setting off a chain reaction, causing other countries to join the fight. The Great War didn't just happen overnight. Problems were brewing in Europe for decades. Nationalism, imperialism, and militarism made things worse. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the spark, but the real reasons were much bigger. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the next in line to rule Austria-Hungary, and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914. This tragic event marked a pivotal moment in history, setting off a chain reaction that would engulf the entire continent in conflict. This event started World War I, a devastating global conflict that lasted for over 4 years and changed the course of history forever. A 19-year-old Serbian nationalist named Gavrilo Princip, part of a secretive group called the Black Hand, carried out the assassination. The group aimed to create a greater Serbia, free from Austro-Hungarian rule. The Archduke and his wife were visiting Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, which Austria-Hungary had taken over in 1908. Princip and his group saw the Archduke's visit as a chance to fight for Serbian independence. As the Archduke's car drove through Sarajevo, Princip seized the moment and shot both the Archduke and his wife. Austria-Hungary was furious and blamed Serbia for the attack, accusing them of supporting the assassins. They gave Serbia a list of demands known as the July Ultimatum, which was designed to be nearly impossible to accept in full. Serbia agreed to most of them, but not all. The partial acceptance was not enough to satisfy Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914, setting off a chain of alliances and conflicts that would lead to the outbreak of World War I. World War I changed how wars were fought. It was the first time so many people were killed with industrial weapons. Trench warfare became common, especially on the Western Front. Life in the trenches was awful. There were bombs, disease, and the constant fear of death. World War I wasn't just fought in Europe, it affected the whole world and changed who had power. European countries used soldiers and resources from their colonies. Millions of soldiers from Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean fought and died in a war far from home. The war also made people in the colonies want independence. World War I ended on November 11, 1918, marking a significant moment in history. After 4 years of terrible fighting and destruction, the war was finally over. The world was left to deal with the aftermath. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended the war. But it was very harsh on Germany. Germany had to take the blame for the war, lose land, and pay reparations, crippling its economy. This led to economic hardship and political instability, paving the way for radical ideologies. The aftermath of World War I saw significant changes across the globe. Empires fell, new nations emerged, and the League of Nations was formed. Subscribe to Map My Saga for more historical content.